In the throes of the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce competition to conquer the final frontier: space. This was a time of unprecedented rivalry and relentless innovation, a time when the tides of history were turning at a rapid pace. The Apollo program was born from this crucible of competition, a testament to human ambition and ingenuity. This series of space missions was the United States' bold response to the Soviet Union's early victories in the space race. Apollo 11 marked a significant milestone in this journey, putting the first man on the moon and etching the words, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," into the annals of history. Yet, as we move into the story of Apollo 13, the third mission intended to land humans on the moon, we find a different narrative. But unlike its predecessors, Apollo 13 would be remembered not for its success, but for the incredible courage and ingenuity in the face of adversity. On April 11, 1970, Apollo 13 was launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida with astronauts Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Haise aboard. The launch was flawless, a testament to the meticulous preparation and the expertise of the team on the ground. As Apollo 13 soared through the sky, the crew inside the spacecraft felt a sense of exhilaration. This was the culmination of years of training, hard work, and dedication. For Lovell, Swigert, and Haise, this was a dream come true. The world watched in awe as these three men embarked on a journey to the moon. The mission was off to an excellent start with all systems operating as expected. The mood was jubilant, both on the ground and in the spacecraft. The astronauts in high spirits communicated smoothly with mission control, sharing their optimism and excitement. It seemed as though everything was going according to plan. However, just 2 days into the mission, disaster struck. On the evening of April 13th, the crew conducted a routine procedure to stir the spacecraft's oxygen tanks. This seemingly mundane task, performed countless times before, would prove to be the catalyst for one of the most dramatic events in space exploration history. As the crew went about their duties, a spark ignited in an oxygen tank. This spark quickly turned into a violent explosion that rocked the spacecraft, causing a critical failure in the spacecraft's systems. The command module, the heart of the Apollo 13 mission, was severely damaged. The crew, caught completely off guard, were suddenly in a fight for their lives, 250,000 miles from home. In the midst of chaos and confusion, one line crackled over the communication systems back to ground control. "Houston, we've had a problem here." These words, uttered by astronaut Jim Lovell, would become immortalized in the annals of space history. The ground control team in Houston, Texas was momentarily stunned. For a few heart-stopping seconds, the control room fell silent. Then, as the severity of the situation became clear, they sprang into action. Engineers, scientists, and technicians worked feverishly to understand the problem and devise a solution. The line, "Houston, we've had a problem here," signified the start of a desperate and determined race against time to save the lives of the Apollo 13 crew. The explosion had caused a critical failure in the life support systems of the spacecraft. The moon landing, the goal that had been the focus of the crew and the world for so long, was now an impossibility. The crew and ground control had to abandon their dreams of lunar exploration. The mission had changed in an instant. The priority had shifted from exploration to survival. Suddenly, the mission of Apollo 13 had become a rescue operation. The world watched, holding its collective breath, as the fate of the three astronauts hung in the balance. The moon landing was now impossible. The priority shifted from exploration to survival. The stage was set for one of the most dramatic comebacks in space history. With the command module rapidly losing life-supporting resources, the crew had to move to the lunar module, which was not designed for such a task. This was the dire situation faced by the crew of Apollo 13. Stranded 200,000 miles away from home, their only shelter was a lunar module, built for 2 men for 2 days, not 3 men for 4 days. The crew was in a race against time, battling against dwindling oxygen levels, limited power, and a carbon dioxide buildup. They were up against a challenge that they had not trained for, a challenge that was not part of any mission simulation, and yet, they had to conquer this challenge. They had to improvise, adapt, and overcome. The lunar module was equipped with lithium hydroxide canisters that could remove carbon dioxide from the air, but these canisters were square, while the ones in the command module were round. It was like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, literally. But the astronauts, with the help of mission control, managed to craft a makeshift adapter using duct tape, plastic bags, and mission manuals. This mail-order solution, as it was jokingly referred to, was a critical improvisation that helped keep the crew alive. Yet staying alive was only half the battle. They had to correct their course for a safe return to Earth. The explosion had knocked Apollo 13 off its course, and the crew had to execute a critical engine burn to adjust their trajectory. Precision was key. A burn too short, and they would skip off the Earth's atmosphere like a stone skimming water. A burn too long, and they would re-enter too steeply, incinerating in the process. This was a task that usually required the full power of the command module's computer. But with the command module powered down to save its remaining life support for re-entry, the crew had to rely on the lunar module's rudimentary navigation system. Ground control and the crew worked tirelessly, calculating and recalculating, checking and double-checking their numbers. The burn was successful, but the journey home was fraught with tension. Every second mattered. Every decision could mean the difference between life and death. The crew and ground control worked in perfect harmony, a testament to the intense collaboration and trust that had formed between them. The world held its breath as Apollo 13 re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. For 3 minutes, there was radio silence, a period known as the blackout. Those 3 minutes felt like an eternity. But then, a voice crackled over the radio. "Odyssey Houston standing by. Over." Apollo 13 had made it. They were home. Against all odds, Apollo 13 splashed down in the Pacific Ocean on April 17th, all crew members alive and well. Despite the perilous journey, the crew of Apollo 13 had made it home, turning a potential disaster into a successful failure. It was a testament to human ingenuity, collaboration, and the indomitable spirit of exploration. Apollo 13, a mission that was nearly a tragic disaster, instead became a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. The impact of Apollo 13 is far-reaching, shaping the course of subsequent space missions in ways that still resonate today. Beyond the immediate response to the crisis, Apollo 13's legacy lies in the lessons it taught us. It showed us that space exploration is fraught with danger, but it also illuminated the extraordinary lengths to which we can go when faced with adversity. In the aftermath of Apollo 13's near disaster, NASA undertook a rigorous review of the mission, leading to significant design changes and new safety protocols. The oxygen tank that exploded was redesigned, and the command module was equipped with additional backup systems. Procedures were also put in place to ensure that such a crisis could be handled more efficiently, should it ever arise again. These changes were not merely reactionary, they were proactive steps that have since contributed to the safety and success of subsequent missions. The cultural significance of Apollo 13 cannot be understated. The mission's famous quote, "Houston, we've had a problem," has permeated into the global lexicon, becoming a metaphor for acknowledging a serious problem. It remains a touchstone of popular culture, a symbol of crisis-turned-triumph. Apollo 13 also reinforced the idea that space exploration is a collective human endeavor. The world watched, breathless, as the drama unfolded, rooting for the safe return of the astronauts. The successful return of the Apollo 13 crew was not just an American victory, but a victory for all of humanity. The mission's impact extends beyond the realm of space travel. It has inspired countless books, movies, and even a hit Hollywood film. The story of Apollo 13 continues to captivate us, reminding us of the power of problem-solving, teamwork, and sheer human will. Apollo 13, a mission that didn't land on the moon, yet it achieved something perhaps even more important. It demonstrated the power of human ingenuity and the indomitable spirit of survival.